Warning, you are not watching Siskel and Ebert.
You are now entering Wang World.
Cinematopical back on another video. I'm Strange Wang. Today I have a film review for The Blackening. Before we get into the review, thanks button underneath this video is a donation link. It basically is to say, hey, YouTuber, good job, here's some money. So if you want to give me some of that cheese, that cheddar, that Bob De Niro, the moolah, I would appreciate that a lot. Or you can subscribe, it is free and helps out the channel a lot as well. If you do either of those two things, then
I appreciate that.
But let's get down to brass tacks. I give The Blackening an 8.2 out of 10 Wangs.
Why?
Because this film works on every level. It works on the parody aspect of it. It works on the social commentary aspect. It works on the comedy aspect. It works as a horror movie. So having all those elements in this film and nailing every single one of them is going to turn out to be pretty damn good time in the theater, because you're hitting your marks. They're not stepping on their own dicks. You are having a good, consistent movie with elements that matter, not only for the mind to make one think about, well, man, there are all these tropes when it comes to black people in horror movies, or the social commentary of, hey, how do mixed people feel? I know Drake raps about it a lot. Childish Gambino raps about it. Donald Glover. How do they feel? Well, yeah, I guess to a point they kind of feel like this.
I guess.
It works on a horror movie because it has tension in it. It makes you hold your breath. It gets your heart pumping like Reeboks. It keeps you on your toes like a ballerina. It works on the comedy aspect because these jokes are funny. And that's one thing I really liked about this movie that I can say about this movie, but not about the other two comedies this year. The jokes in this movie are consistently funny. When they make a joke, it's hilarious. There's not one or two big, huge jokes in this movie that's going to have everyone talking, like in the other two movies, like Joyride or like No Hard Feelings. There's just good, consistent, clean jokes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
The jokes weren't the only thing well written in this movie. The character work in this film is fantastic. These characters are written. We don't spend a lot of time with each character by themselves. You have a main storyline and a side storyline when it comes to this friends group. And every other character, you don't really get much. But what they do give you develops these characters very well. And we know each character and who they are. And it's logical why they're making these decisions in this film. And it just makes sense of why these people are friends and the history from college 10 years later to this cabin where they're all being tested and murdered and hunted. It also makes sense on why these people are here and making those decisions they're making and why they love each other.
Makes sense.
The great writing continues because of the twist in this movie. It has not a couple big huge twists, but they have twists and turns. And when you're in the movie, you're in the mud, you can see one coming a little bit, but the other one I personally did not see coming until I was in the scene, and I was like, oh my god. Bah, bah, bah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like very invested in this movie to the point where the tension worked for me, and I was not thinking about, well, who done it. I was in the movie like, oh shit, I care about this person. Don't fucking die. And that's good writing because the twist, they hit harder because of that. And the twist worked for me in this film. And again, back to this film being made very well. There's not jump scares just to be jump scares. When the jump scares happen, it's meant to be scary. Except for one. But who doesn't play pranks on their friends? So that one is kind of passable. It's feasible. I know I've jumped out at friends before.
It's funny to me.
Jerry Farrell's in this movie, but not for long.
I got a problem with that.
He did such a good job in Insane, and he had really the only skits I watch when it comes to SNL were his when he was on the show. I just want him to get a movie where he just knocks out the park and kills it. But this apparently wasn't it for him, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he'll get more work in the future. He's a very talented person.
And I'm not lying!
This movie knows its audience. It has funny, consistent jokes in it. It doesn't have a scene or anything to make it pop and stand out. And it's kind of predictable. And when you're playing with these tropes, you're going to have a bit of that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of stuff in this film is unoriginal, except for the game. And that's honestly kind of feel like shock value to get you into the theater. But they also make good use of it in the film when it comes to the jokes and things like that, the reactions when they see the game board. So because of that, I had a really good time with this film. Thought it was hilarious, but not a masterpiece, not a classic, just a good solid film that you're going to turn on, watch, enjoy it. But I don't see it having a memorable factor in someone's personal life. I'm white saying that, so what do I know? But let me know what you know in the comment section below. Scroll back up to the like button, share the video,
And then?
subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.